Welcome to the season of Lent. The observation of Lent began in the very earliest days of the church, and it served three purposes. First, Lent is a time when the church prepares for the great celebration of the feast of Easter, Jesus' resurrection from the dead, that overcame the power of death once and for all time. That's a big deal. And so for such an important celebration, it's right that we take some time to prepare. So the church invites us to prepare through self-examination and repentance, prayer, fasting, and self-denial, and reading and meditating on God's holy word. And that list comes directly from the liturgy for Ash Wednesday. The second and third traditional purposes of Lent are less common in our time. In ancient times, Lent was seen as a time for the careful and intentional preparation of those who were to be baptized at Easter. And it was also a time for when those members of the community who had been separated from the community because of what the Ash Wednesday liturgy calls their notorious sins, when they were reconciled to the community through penitence and forgiveness and welcomed back into the community of followers of Jesus. These days, of course, we are most familiar with what has been handed down to us in our own culture. So it's mostly the idea of giving something up for Lent. And people decide to give up all kinds of things for Lent, like chocolate, wine, coffee. Usually it seems to have something to do with food, and usually it's something that people enjoy consuming. And I have to say, I didn't grow up with that tradition, and so I'm always wondering why people need to give up something that they enjoy, something good that God has put on this earth, like chocolate and wine and coffee. What purpose does that serve? So it can be part of a Lenten observance to give up something that you enjoy, but I think it's really important to know why you're giving it up. How does giving up this thing bring you closer to God? Because that's the entire purpose of Lent, putting aside those things that keep us separated from God and holding tight to those things that bring us closer to God. So if you give up something that distracts you from your relationship with God, or if the fact of giving something up for the weeks of Lent will help serve as a reminder of your intention to deepen your relationship with God, that's great. If you find yourself giving up some sort of food or something like a treat that gives you pleasure because you want to lose a little weight, that's not really what Lent is for. So maybe rethink what you want to do. You might want to take something on for Lent, like try out a different prayer practice each week, or readings in a book of reflections. There's also loads of Lenten reflections that you can sign up via email. They'll get emailed to you every day. A Lenten observance is a very individual thing. It should really be what will help you to deepen your connection to God this Lent. Whatever you do, however you choose to observe Lent this year, I hope your Lent will be a time of blessing and of deepening your connection to God. Plan your Lenten observance so that you'll be prepared to celebrate Holy Week and Easter in just a few short weeks. Blessings.